She is 8 years old when Rome kills her father. Not in battle, not from illness. In a room, on an order. The way Rome always did it. Quietly, efficiently, with paperwork filed afterward. She files that lesson away. She will use it later. Her name is Agrippina, daughter of Rome's most beloved general, sister of Caligula, the boy who declared himself a god and proved that unlimited power handed to the wrong person doesn't produce kings. It produces something else entirely. And she is the mother of Nero, daughter of the man who built the dynasty, sister of the man who broke it, mother of the man who burned it. Agrippina sits exactly in the middle of all three, and almost nobody knows her name. They tried to erase her 4 times. She survived 3 of them. The 4th came from her own son. Drop a comment with your city and country before we go in, because what Rome did to Agrippina and what Agrippina did back is the most ruthless game of survival in ancient history. She grew up watching everything get taken. Her father Germanicus, beloved, brilliant, the general Rome worshipped, died in 19 AD under circumstances everyone suspected and nobody could prove. Poison. Her mother carried his ashes back to Rome in her own arms, walking through crowds of weeping citizens as a public accusation against Emperor Tiberius. Tiberius never forgave the family for it. By the time Agrippina was 18, her mother had starved herself to death in exile. 2 brothers were gone, one dead in prison, one forced to suicide. Tiberius had systematically dismantled every person she had ever loved. She watched every move. She studied every mistake. And she understood something that would define the next 30 years of her life. You cannot fight Rome directly. You can only become indispensable to it. Then Caligula happened, her brother, the emperor. And for a moment, a brief, false moment, it felt like resurrection. He brought her back from obscurity, honored her publicly, put her face on coins alongside his. And then, something broke in him. The warmth curdled. The generosity became cruelty. In 39 AD, Agrippina's name was attached to a conspiracy. Real or invented, it didn't matter. She was exiled, stripped of everything, sent to the same island chain where her mother had starved to death. Before she left, Caligula handed her an urn. Inside it were the ashes of a dead conspirator. He told her to carry it to Rome herself, to transport a traitor's remains as a warning. She carried the urn. She walked with it. She did not break. 3 years on that island, watching the water, knowing her brother was still breathing, still capable of deciding exile wasn't enough. And then, in 41 AD, the Praetorian Guard put swords through Caligula in a palace corridor. He died mid-performance. No last words worth recording. Agrippina came home. She came back with nothing except the one thing Rome had never been able to take. Her name. Daughter of Germanicus, blood of Augustus, the last standing branch of the most beloved family Rome had ever produced. She understood immediately what that name was worth, and she began to use it. She married strategically, twice consul, enormously wealthy. Her husband died and left her everything. The ancient sources raised their eyebrows at the timing. Agrippina does not appear to raise hers. The emperor was Claudius. You know him. The stammering uncle found hiding behind a curtain when Caligula died, made emperor almost by accident. Deeply insecure, easily manipulated, and recently widowed. Agrippina got close to him, publicly, deliberately, warm, attentive, present. Everything Messalina had never been. Roman law prohibited marriage between an uncle and his niece. The Senate changed the law. In 49 AD, Claudius married Agrippina. She had gone from island exile, carrying a dead man's ashes, to Empress of Rome. In 8 years, no army, no weapon, only her name, her intelligence, and her refusal to accept the story was finished. She moved fast. Within a year, Nero was heir, ahead of Claudius's own biological son. She removed advisors and replaced them with her own. She sat beside the emperor at official functions, not behind him, beside him. She had her face stamped on coins. She made herself, in every practical sense, co-ruler of Rome. In 54 AD, Claudius ate a meal of mushrooms and died. The ancient sources all point in the same direction. Agrippina had access. Agrippina had motive. By morning, Nero was declared Emperor of Rome. She had done it. What she hadn't accounted for was Nero himself. He was not a child who didn't understand power. He understood it completely, because his mother had spent 16 years teaching him exactly how it worked. And he had watched her use it, watched her maneuver, watched her treat him not as a son, but as a project. He resented it, deeply. The erosion was gradual, then sudden. She was moved out of the palace. Her guard was removed. Her network of influence quietly redirected toward Nero. And when Britannicus died at a dinner party mid-sentence, poison, unmistakably, Agrippina understood the message beneath the act. I learned this from you, and I am not afraid to use it. In 59 AD, Nero decided to finish it. He engineered a boat, designed to collapse mid-water, to send Agrippina to the bottom of the bay under circumstances that would read as tragic accident. She got in. The mechanism triggered. Her companions died. Agrippina, injured in the water in the dark, swam to shore. She was 53 years old. She swam away from an assassination attempt her own son had designed. She knew immediately there would be another. He sent soldiers that same night. She heard them coming. She faced them standing. She pointed to her own stomach, the womb that had carried Nero, and told them to strike there. They did. Rome wanted you to take a simple lesson from this. Female ambition overreaching. A mother who mistook her son for an extension of herself and paid for it. Rome was very good at building those lessons, centuries of practice. But look at what she actually did. She was born into a family Rome destroyed. She watched her mother die defiant and broken, her brothers disappear into prisons. She survived a brother who treated her as property, survived an island exile designed to erase her. And from all of it, from every single attempt to reduce her to nothing, she built the most improbable rise in imperial history. She put her son on the throne. She stamped her face on coins. She sat beside emperors and rewrote what a woman in her position was permitted to be. Without an army, without a title, using only what Rome had given her and failed to take away. Was she ruthless? Yes. Did people die because of her? Yes. But Rome had taught her every single one of those lessons before she was 10 years old. She learned what she was shown. She became what her world made necessary. And Rome, which spent her entire life trying to erase her, was never quite able to finish the job. Her son burned the city. The dynasty collapsed. The empire eventually fell. Agrippina's name survived all of it. You're saying it right now, 2,000 years later. They tried to erase her 4 times. The 5th time they used her own son, and even that only half worked. Now you know why.